It's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and ranking our top 10 small forwards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Now, I do gotta preface this video by saying the small forward position, I personally believe, is one of I think it's the weakest position in the game right now. I just don't think there's a ton of top level talent. I feel like there's a lot of guys in that same range. So like my number 10 through my number, let's say 5, are relatively all the same range. It really is preference based. Also, guys like Paul George, guys like Jaylen Brown, those guys going to be on the shooting guard list. But obviously, if you want to run a guy like Paul George at the small forward position, you guys can do that. Without further ado, let's hop into our number 10. And as we dive into it, guys, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Mikal Bridges. Now, the reason he's on this small forward list and not on the shooting guard list is because I feel like putting him on the shooting guard list doesn't really do Mikal justice, because he's not a playmaker. His playmaking ability really is not great. And so I feel like if you want to run Mikal, his best position is that small forward position. 89 3 ball, great defensively, 88 speed. Thing for me, I do not love the Mikal Bridges base. I think it's slow, I think it's baited, but look, he's got hot spots everywhere, and if you are wide open, Mikal Bridges is not going to miss shots, as well as, again, his defense is off the charts good. So for me, Mikal Bridges has to find a spot somewhere, and I think number 10 on this small forward list is a good spot for him. At my number 9, Brandon Ingram. Now, you guys might be like, Brandon Ingram over Mikal Bridges. Look, I get it. But I like Brandon Ingram's release more. And so I think for that alone is why I'm higher on Brandon Ingram compared to a guy like Mikal Bridges. He's also 2 inches taller. For me, it was Melo or Brandon Ingram. I like Brandon Ingram more. A lot of people like Melo more, but I think that's really what it came down to for me. And I just think Brandon Ingram, because he's 6'8" instead of a Mikal Bridges in 6'6", they're different, but I'd lean with Brandon Ingram. Gives you more offense, gives you more height, just gives you more playmaking ability as well. Defensively, obviously not good. No defensive badges, no defensive stats, to be honest with you. But if you can find a way to somewhat hide him on defense, his offense is really solid. At my number 8, Dorian Finney-Smith. Yes, I like DFS more than Mikal Bridges. So you guys can complain, do what you want. But when I look at the cards and I compare them, I like Dorian Finney-Smith more. Now, why? Well, I think it all starts with the height of DFS, as well as badge-wise, he's got just as many, if not more, badges. Now, I know Mikal's stats are better, but I green more with DFS. I like his height, I like his versatility. Plus, free card bias is something, or not, cheap card bias, I should say, budget bias is something I'm always going to account for as well. Dorian Finney-Smith is super affordable, and again, I've used this card and have had a ton of success with him. Like his player model. Another thing to think about is he's gonna compete better on the interior compared to a guy like Mikal Bridges. DFS coming in at my number 8. At my number 7, we're throwing it way back to Scottie Pippen. It's crazy that he is 56,000 MT. Like, to go way back and think, like, wow, he used to be, what, 140,000 MT, down to 56,000 MT. I feel like I'll always love Scottie Pippen because of his release. His release is so quick and it's super easy to green as well. Those two things carry the weight with him. Hall of Fame challenger, Hall of Fame claims. To me, he's a Mikal Bridges that has a quicker release. That's the way I think about Scottie Pippen. To me, the cards both are going to be good on-ball defenders. Scottie Pippen's longer. Mikal Bridges has a little better defensive stats. They're very, very similar. I just think Scottie Pippen with his release has to find his way in my top 10. For me, I think 7 was the right spot for him. At my number 6, a guy I like a little more than Scottie is Andre Kirilenko. 82 3 ball, 83 speed, great defense. He is a better version of Dorian Finney-Smith. Longer, lengthier, gonna compete better on the interior. As far as an all-around defender, doesn't get much better than AK. Sure, on ball, Mikal Bridges might be just as good, but when you talk about what if they get switched on to a Shaq, Mikal Bridges will get absolutely dogged out by Shaq. Whereas, like, if I had AK on Shaq, I think AK could potentially get me a stop. Now, the thing with AK is, I don't love the Haywood Highsmith base. I mean, it's fine. It's not terrible. It's just not a release I love. And so I think that's really what holds me back a little bit, especially like if you compare AK to Scottie Pippen has a better release. Everything else, AK is going to do better than Scottie Pippen, but at the end of the day, Scottie does have a better release. I think AK at number 6 is a good spot for him. Cracking my top 5. Amethyst Scottie Barnes. Now, this is an intriguing one because he has the duo. So without the duo, he might be a little bit lower. With the duo, he might be one spot higher. So I put him in here at number 5 because I still think without the duo, he is really solid. You want to talk about a complete small forward with a ton of badges. Scottie Barnes is exactly that. Now again, with the duo, gets way better. The Hall of Fame catch and shoot, the interior perimeter going up, rebounding wise getting better, getting the Hall of Fame clamps and vice grip does get to be a ton better. And so I think it's a balancing act, right? Because a lot of people are going to run Scottie Barnes without the duo. I'm personally running Scottie Barnes with the duo. So you just kind of got to figure that out for yourself. No matter what way you think of it though, Scottie Barnes, a really solid small forward, a really solid 3-and-D option. And again, a lot of these guys that I've covered so far are 3-and-D options. Every single one of them outside of Brandon Ingram is. We're gonna continue on that same train of thought with another 3-and-D option. This one being Kawhi Leonard. I don't know what it is about Kawhi. His defense is just too much. I don't know what it is. When I'm handling the ball, guys like, you could throw AK on me, you could throw Scottie Pippen on me. Yes, they're tough defensively, but they are not to the level of Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi gets plucks, Kawhi gets bumpy. I don't know if it's the Kawhi Leonard motion style or what it is, but defensively, he is an absolute menace. And again, unless you have ever played against Kawhi, I don't think you're going to know what I'm talking about. His defense is too much. I think Kawhi is again, next level good. 94 lateral quickness, 84 speed, good 3-ball. Doesn't get much better than Kawhi Leonard in my team. Yes, he's the lock-in, so I personally never got him. But trust me, if you got Kawhi, I still might be using him to this day. At my number 3, we're getting away from the 3-and-D option, Kevin Durant. Now, the problem with KD is his release. It needs to be on quick. If you want me to hype up a Kevin Durant card, his release has to get quicker. His release is too slow. It's too methodical. Does have a great offense. So, I mean, if you're looking for an offensive small forward, he's probably a top 3 one on this list. I don't even want to compare him to my number 1 because it's completely different. But the problem with KD is his defense. He still is 6'10", lacking a few defensive badges in there. Doesn't come with quick first step either. If his release was just a little bit better, he'd probably be at minimum number 2. But the problem is releases matter so much. It's why Scottie Pippen is even on this list to this day because his release is so much better. I'm gonna say it right now. If KD had Scottie Pippen's release, KD would be number 1 on this list. It's really that simple, that easy to understand. That's how much releases do matter. At my number 2, Michael Beasley. This is where I talk about releases mattering. When I put Michael Beasley ahead of Kevin Durant, it's for one reason and one reason only. Because he's got the best release at the small forward position. Terrence Mann base on quick, super smooth. Normally is obviously solid. Defensively, he's not great, but he's not horrible. Chase that artist, rebound chaser, those things do help. The bronze limitless does matter as well. But it all goes back to that Terrence Mann base on quick. If Michael Beasley just had like a mediocre release, or if he would have came with his set custom, which is the Brook Lopez base, nobody is talking about Michael Beasley. The fact of the matter is he's got the best release at the small forward position in the entire game, and that keeps Michael Beasley relevant. These are the types of cards, in my opinion, that are not only fun to use, that are important for 2K to put in the game, because, I mean, it's not just a copy paste. We always use LeBron. We always use KD. But a guy like Michael Beasley, I'm not saying he's Tim Thomas, but he's kind of like that, right? Where they change his sigs, make him a fun card to use. We need more cards like this that are fun, but not over the top good. Like Tim Thomas, I would say last year was over the top good. Michael Beasley's not over the top good because even if you look at his card, he's not perfect, right? Especially defensively, but his release keeps this card relevant. If you've not used Michael Beasley, and let's say you have 300,000 MT, you're struggling at the small forward position, I'd suggest picking him up because he can play for a very long time. At my number 1, a big gap over the rest of the field is LeBron James. There is nobody at the small forward position that is close to LeBron James. Nobody. This card is basically an invincible endgame. And with 2K putting all those Hall of Fame badges in the game, you might come up against the LeBron with like 50-some Hall of Famers. It wouldn't surprise me. 88 3-ball, good speed, good ladder quickness. He's the best defensive and offensive small forward in the entire game. Yes, I just said the best offensive small forward in the entire game. I know his release isn't perfect, but he's so good at attacking the rim. He's got an 88 3-ball. He can get range extender. He comes with silver, and defensively literally has every badge in the entire game. Yes, LeBron James was basically $100. I get it. It's a pay-to-win game. That's what the game mode obviously is. But when you're looking at the overall best small forward in the game, if you do not have King James at number 1, you're doing something wrong. Now, number 2, you could have KD. You could have Michael Beasley. You could even have, if you wanted to, Kawhi at number 2. I do not care because I don't think there's like a set number 2. But if LeBron James is not your number 1 small forward in the entire game, you're doing something wrong. I even saw some people tweet, oh, Michael Beasley's better than LeBron James. Come on, man. Let's be realistic here. Yes, Michael Beasley's got a better release than LeBron James, but come on, man. Let's be realistic here. LeBron James' gap over Michael Beasley and the rest of the field is so large. That's gonna wrap it up for our small forward top 10 today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Would you guys have had a guy like Melo, guys like Sean Marion in it? Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. As always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.